Secret Service said they have dissuaded him from coming to Capitol Hill. They told him they don't have the resources to protect him here. So at the moment, he is not coming, but that could change.
Oh, he comes, I'm gonna punch him out. This is my mom.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm gonna punch him out, and I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna be happy.
Nancy Pelosi, those are fighting words. Literally. If you couldn't tell there was a video from January 6th. Nancy Pelosi was hearing about the possibility of Donald Trump rolling up on the Capitol. She goes, oh, I can't wait. This is what I've been waiting for, to punch this guy in the nose. Yes, she goes, I'll punch him, I'll go to jail, and I'll be happy about it. Wow, Nancy. I gotta be honest. I like the energy, because there's been enough of this pushing around and bullying, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and how dare you? And finally, not that she would have been able to, I don't think, get a shot off at Donald Trump. Then there's that energy, at least, of pushing back on this. And maybe it's the energy behind what they're trying to investigate and uncover everything that was going on that day. So I like that kind of energy. But she did go on further because of the things that she did find in the office and how things were left a bit of a mess. Let's watch more.
There has to be some way we can maintain the sense that people have that there's some security or some confidence that government can function and that we can elect the president of the United States.
Apparently everybody on the floor is putting on tear gas masks to prepare for a breach. Well, I'm trying to get more information.
They're putting on their
Tear gas masks.
I can't.
It's just horrendous, and all at the instigation of the President of the United States. Okay, thank you, Governor. I appreciate what you're doing, and if you don't mind, I'd like to stay in touch. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Virginia Guard has been called in.
You know, I'm just talking to Governor Northam, and what he said is they sent 200 state police and a unit of the National Guard. I just got off with the Vice President.
And I got off with the Vice President-elect. So I'll tell him.
Okay, that Mitch wants to get everybody back to do it there.
Yes.
I said, well, we're getting a counterpoint that is, we could take time to clean up the poo-poo that they're making all over them, literally and figuratively in the Capitol, and that it may take days to get back.
Videos from that day from Democrats as they were looking, at least trying to call National Guard in to assist them as this devastating attack was coming to the Capitol, and she's hunkered down there. Now, again, we've seen other videos from other Republicans, maybe, we've seen the Hawleys run out of the place, or other folks later calling it just, a tourist visit, things like that. This gives us the energy that's happening in the rooms as they're trying to quell the situation. So think about that as we're hearing about the accusations for Democrats and what they call as their role in January 6th from people like Donald Trump saying these things, because it makes no sense. So all the evidence is there. There's video cameras. It's 2022, you guys. Of course, this was last year, but things get recorded. We'll see if that's enough to prove things out. Another part about this whole thing from the January 6th committee yesterday, though, Yaz, before you jump in here, I did want to point this out. They did call for a subpoena of Donald Trump at the end of the session. Let's watch how that unfolded.
This afternoon, I am offering this resolution that the committee direct the chairman to issue a subpoena for relevant documents and testimony under oath from Donald John Trump.
If there's no further debate, the question is on agreeing to the resolution. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed is no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
Jump down the graphic for you guys, because I want to get to Donald Trump's response, because he would respond to this. The subpoena of Donald Trump. How could you do this to a former president? This is unprecedented. It's unprecedented what this former president has been accused of doing and has been pretty much proven out to have done. This is what he said at first. He goes, I'll be putting out my response to the Unselect Committee of Political Hacks and Thugs tomorrow morning at 8. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay, fine. But he did have an interview with Fox News to talk about what he did want to do, and it was maybe it's surprising to some He says they said that former President Donald Trump loves the idea of testifying. This is great. This is what Fox News is reporting. Before the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. That's what a source close to Trump told Fox News Digital after the panel unanimously agreed to subpoena him. The source said that if Trump complied with the subpoena and testified, he would talk about how corrupt the election was, how corrupt the committee was, and how Nancy Pelosi did not call up the National Guard that Trump strongly recommended her to do 3 days earlier on January 3rd. As we saw back in the video, they were calling National Guard in. They weren't notified, of course, of this attack, which we heard from also portions of the hearing from yesterday, because they were planning to do this secretly and to sneak up and roll up and have Donald Trump be the leader that takes back the United States of America in his own honor. There's a lot here, yes. What are your thoughts about how this all unfolded? And actually, if any of this stuff is gonna lead to maybe Donald Trump coming in and complaining about the National Guard, and I can't believe Nancy Pelosi wore blue that day, whatever the hell else he's gonna complain about.
Yeah, he said that he can't wait. He loves the idea of testifying, but his lawyers don't want him to testify. They don't want him to sit for any kind of depositions or anything like that because he can't not lie. His own legal team doesn't trust him to not lie on these things. And so he's gonna perjure himself, and then it's just gonna create a whole other cascade of legal issues for Donald Trump, even though I'm sure he's probably used to that right now. But watching all that footage yesterday at the hearing was pretty jarring, and we've already seen so much of that footage already. But the view from the inside of what our nation's leaders were having to deal with, it was kind of scary because Nancy Pelosi is sitting there on the phone trying to make phone calls, but it's like there's not a whole lot that she can actually do to make any kind of change happen to stop a literal mob of people from getting into the building where she and all of her colleagues are sitting, where our entire government was sitting. So as far as how much power our leaders have, it was kind of interesting to see that play out. I don't know if Nancy would have a decent shot at taking on Donald Trump if she actually had the chance to punch him in the face or whatever it was that she said. I think that would be an interesting thing for a lot of us to see. But it's like what you were talking about. We have to, stop playing so nice. Stop acting like these things are, it was when Michelle Obama said, we go high when everybody else goes low or whatever it was. The thing with that is that you kind of just make excuses for things. You get into like both sidesism. You go out of your way to kind of, make sure that you're being fair to the other side and make sure that you're considering all the different perspectives and angles of a situation because you want to be fair, right? You want to do the right thing and you want things to be accurate, at least in your own mind. But the thing is, sometimes it is what it is and you have to call it for what it is. And Donald Trump has been a very dangerous person to our country. And the culmination of it happened on January 6th and we saw that. And Nancy Pelosi, for one, wasn't holding back, and it was nice to see.